Hello, wonderful viewers. Welcome back to Eat Right with Ebubekosia. Today we'll be touching on a very interesting topic. We want to know the impact of home gardening in relation to boosting our nutrition. And I'm here with a very hard-working young lady. I'll leave her to introduce herself.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for the welcome. Yes, my name is Diamond. I'm Diamond Tumaku. I'm the founder and manager of Green Space. Green Space is a horticulture enterprise. Focus is to encourage people to eat right, organic, grow their own crops at home. We help schools, restaurants, catering companies, homes, and many other different people to learn to cultivate vegetables and benefit from that. Thanks.
I would want us to touch on the impact of home gardening to our nutrition.
Okay, so home gardening is a very interesting subject. It's even making me smile already. So basically, when we say home garden, we are talking about you cultivating something at home, right? It can either be in containers, it can be directly in the ground, it can be in water, it can be in the air, whatever. So far as you're gardening at home, you are practicing home gardening. Now, when we bring it to vegetable cultivation in the home, we are talking about anyone at all who has a container or a plot and they are growing vegetables, carrots, be it tomatoes, peppers, anything. This cultivation, mostly when done organically, helps to boost the nutrition of the family. This is what I mean. So imagine you wake up one morning and you want to make an omelette, right? Or an eggs, fried eggs. You go into the garden, you pick up some parsley, some basil, some spring onions. You cut them right off the plant, right? That act of harvesting right off the plant can save up to 90% of the nutritional content of that plant. When you cut that and you go and prepare that into your dish, that gives you more nutrition or more nutrients in that diet as compared to someone else who has gone to buy those vegetables on the market. It potentially stayed there for 5 days, over 10 days before they are going to eat it. And over that period of time, the nutritional capacity of that vegetable depletes.
Okay, I would want us to touch on what type of let's say fruits and vegetables that we can have in our home garden.
Okay, it's endless. Just think of it and you can have it. So yes, we have different spaces. Some people have very tight, small spaces, just a balcony. Others just have their windowsill. That's all they have. Now, if you have a bigger space, you can experiment more. You can do fruit trees. You can do oranges. You can do pomegranates. You can do any fruit at all, even grapes, strawberries. You can do that. For people with small spaces, for fruits, they can go for dwarf varieties, fruits that we can maintain and keep in pots. So they are in a limited space and they're used to manage space like that. We have dwarf varieties of pawpaw, we have dwarf varieties of oranges, we have even for grapes, and then strawberries, as a matter of fact, can grow in a very small space. The roots don't grow very widely.
Yeah.
So they can be contained in a small space. So that's something that you can even do in a container at home. Vegetables, there is no stop. You can do any vegetable at all at home.
Anything at all. Okay, so now there's a lot of noise around sustainability and then having quality food with like the shelf life too has to be good. What are some of the importance of home gardening to the sustainability and also how healthy a family can be? We've already touched on that, but I want you to touch on the sustainability type.
Okay. When it comes to sustainability, we are talking about the impact of whatever you are doing on the environment, on people, the community, yourself. Because for generations to come, everything we do today makes an impact. Now, if you are growing vegetables at home and, excuse me to add, organically at home, using organic products. One thing you're doing is you're improving on biodiversity. You are creating a home, an ecosystem for insects to thrive, for microbes to thrive within the soil. And that is a plus. Now you're improving your air, right? We all know from school, plants absorb carbon dioxide, they let out oxygen.
Yes.
Good. So imagine being at a place where a lot of carbon dioxide is being taken and you're getting a lot more oxygen. It improves your respiration, it improves your health, it improves the environment. The less use of synthetic products, chemicals on crops, on the environment, on ourselves, all of that also helps to reduce how much is being produced in terms of carbon emission, methane, all of that in the environment. So you might think that, oh, I just have a small garden, it's insignificant, but then imagine we have a lot of those. It's not an individualistic approach, it's a group. So that overall helps to promote the sustainability of the environment and even of communities.
Awesome. Here at Eat Right, we are advocating for people to have home gardening. I want you to give us practical tips for parents and children and even corporate institutions to have home gardening.
Okay. So actually this morning I was speaking with one lady I met, Ifia, and she was asking me if what does she really need to start a garden, right? So I was telling her that she was holding a 500 ml bottle of water, and I told her, does she know she can grow vegetable in that bottle? She was surprised. Yes, you can. You can grow vegetables in very small spaces. If you don't have ground space at home, any container at all. For a starter, you can grow crops like lettuce, you can grow kale, Swiss chard, you can grow cocoyam, you can grow potatoes, sweet potatoes at home, you can grow Irish potatoes at home. I'm mentioning crops that do not have a lot of pest challenge or excessive requirement for nutrients, fertilizer, and all of that. You can grow spring onions, and so on. These are easy to grow crops, they don't take so long. Radishes is also a good option. It takes a month. Lettuce will take a month for you to grow. And when you grow that lettuce in a month, you just need to pluck the leaves and it will keep growing. It will give you 4 to 5 badges before that plant will start going into its reproductive stage. So you get to enjoy a lot of that. And one thing that we always buy is spices. Yeah. Most spice plants are perennials. What I mean is they last over 3 years. So imagine having rosemary in a pot, in a small pot. You keep harvesting the rosemary, making use of it for a very long time.
Yes.
Lavender, bay leaf, parsleys, coriander, all of that. It's an interesting world.
Yeah.
Yes, you can start with as little as that. We also help individuals who want to start. We run a project actually. We've been running for 4 years.
Yes, and I have been. I've been for 2 years.
Yes. Project Grow Together.
Yes.
It has helped a lot of people actually stop procrastinating and start gardening.
Exactly.
It's free. Anyone who's interested just needs to apply. We add them. We train them for free on how to grow vegetables at home. We give them some supplies, seeds, and a community where they can share their problems, ideas, and over time they feel a part of something bigger than themselves and they tend to enjoy their harvest. I don't know whether you were part of the time that people were sharing produce on the group.
Yes, and even beyond the produce, the fact that if I'm having some challenges with whatever seed I selected, let me make it clear. So we are given a range of seeds to select.
Yes.
I think a maximum of 2. If you want to get extra, then you have to buy. But these 2 are for free. And when we get it, I love the community togetherness, because if I'm having challenges, all I have to do is to take a picture and post it on the WhatsApp group. And Diamond wouldn't necessarily be the one to answer. Someone who also chose a similar seed that I chose would be able to give me some easy tips to make sure it is going well. And through that, I can say more than 200 people have started growing in their homes. Yeah. So Diamond, I would want us to touch on the innovative ways to have home gardening, because a lot of people really want to go into home gardening, but they don't even know where to start from, and they think they have to get a big space. A lot of people too are renting here in Accra. So can you give us some of the innovative ways to have home gardening?
Okay. So yes, space is one major challenge in urban space. To still grow vegetables in your little space innovatively, one concept, vertical farming, is basically growing crops vertically rather than horizontal. Horizontal normally take up space. You have little space. And now you're coming to make use of the air space. You can do this by using plastic containers, right? Your 1 liter bottles, your 20-liter bottles, dispenser bottles, that after you have drunk the water out of them, you can repurpose them. We cut them, we thread them so that they can hang up, and then we fill them with our soil mix. Yes, soil mix made up of fiber, so it will be lighter, it wouldn't be heavy. The soil is a bit dense. Yes. Then you can grow your crops inside. You can do that for lettuce, you can do that for cabbage, you can do that for peppers, tomato, garden eggs, aubergine, name it.
Cabbages.
You can do that with them. You can do that with carrots, in fact. Carrots likes dirt. So far as the container is long enough, the carrot roots can grow long within it. Beetroots, you can do that in onions, spring onions, all of that. You can grow them vertically. So that's one of the innovative ways. Another is the concept of hydroponics. So hydroponics is not just a concept, it's a reality, sorry.
Yes.
Hydroponics, basically growing plants in water. So with hydroponics, you just need to get, again, your container. We cut the container into two. We invert the upper part of the container, put a rope inside to serve as a wick of a sort to transport the water up. Put in some fiber, and then we put the plant in it. So the water is going to be the main medium for transfer of food, that is fertilizer, to the plant, and also water as water, yes, to the plant. So the plant is getting that from the water, no need for soil, and you can still grow in your small spaces at home.
Okay, Diamond, I would want us to touch on how home gardening can be an educational tool for the younger ones, because growing up, it felt like a punishment if you have to farm or something. So how can it be an educational tool?
Yeah. So yes, that was one of the major questions I asked myself when I was starting Green Space: how to change the narrative regarding agriculture. How agriculture is seen as just laborious, as a task, and for the less privileged, or as a punishment. Right? Use that to train students on agriculture at the school. This is what we did. The course comprises hands-on practical activities that factors in math, science, social studies, and IT, technology, because they are learning about technology, STEM program, and all of that. So we tend to get them to think about how to solve problems. So innovation again.
Yes.
They tend to come up with innovative ways to grow crops in the garden, hanging pots, tower gardens, so many interesting other innovations. And this piques their interest because they are like, okay, this is interesting. This is not what I thought agriculture was about. It gives them a connection to nature.
Yes.
They now know where food comes from. They know that to get food, it takes work, right? Then they are thinking, okay, how can I do this faster? And they are coming up with tools, measurement tools to plant their crops easily. We don't give them everything. We give them the problem and ways to solve them practically in the garden. So, and kids don't like to listen to people talking for so long. They want to do, right? So doing, they get that experience. They relate with each other. They work in groups. They come. We actually even take them out to the field, right, to visit farms and all of that. That's something we are doing for the secondary level. So they get to experience real life problems in agro processing, not just in the initial farming stage. Agro processing industries that are transforming agricultural products into other products, clothing, honey, all these different products. They see how agriculture is center, the pivotal end of everything that we do, and they think of ways to be more innovative, ways to solve problems as case studies. So we use real agricultural businesses in Ghana as case studies to teach them. So that's one of the things we are doing, and that's one of the things we are encouraging families to do. Use agriculture at home to bond with your kids. Have a garden. Let them learn to be responsible. They remember to water their crops. They experience what crops go through. Yes, it's not always going to be sweet where the crops blossom, some will die. The experience that is a part of life, and they keep going. So those are some of the ways that we do, and we also encourage other people to incorporate agriculture or nature into the teaching, learning, and also the growing up of the kids.
I like this point. So, Diamond, we are advocating that people have home garden to help them get the basic fruits and vegetables to boost their immune system. How can one start? You've touched on that, but show us the way. What should they do?
Okay, how can one start? It's simple. If you want to start growing, one thing, this is the easiest way. Join Project Grow Together. Mm-hmm. You learn from the experts, everything. Now, if you are unable to join Project Grow Together, let me give you another tidbit. First, to grow, basically you need a growing medium. That's the soil, right? But for the soil to help your plant grow, you need moisture and you need nutrients. Nutrients in terms of fertilizer. I recommend compost, organic fertilizer, liquid or compost fertilizer. Use that for your crops. You can always contact Space. We have all of these things at the garden center that you can pick. Now, you mix this up, you get your seeds or you get your seedlings. If it's seed, you nurse the seeds, you water them, they grow. Yeah, we know the final end. Eventually, you would harvest something. If it is seedlings, you transplant and then they start to grow. You nurture them, you care for them, you monitor, and over time they grow. One challenge that you would face, or you're already facing if you have a garden, is pest control and your timing, because most people are workers. They have a tight schedule. They wake up early in the morning, they're on the road, they go to work, they come back, they don't have so much time on their hands. Well, if you have a garden and you have a busy schedule, one thing we do is the soil, we build up the soil very well. Now, fiber can help increase moisture holding capacity of the soil. So we use cocoa peat produced from coconut husk.
Yes.
We use that, we mix that with the soil, good amount. We have different ratios, 1:1 ratio, 1:2, depending on your particular problem. We mix it thoroughly. When you water plants, after that, dehydration is less. Now we use the bigger chunks of that fiber to mulch the surface of the soil. So dehydration is less as it protects the surface of the soil from the contact from the sun. So dehydration levels are low. Another thing you can do to help with your time is just make time. It can be in the evening. Decide that you water in the evenings. Now we have drip irrigation innovations that you can use at home, where there's a timer, you time, and then you water your crops. You don't need to be home to water the crops. You can operate it using a mobile device.
Yes.
And then you water the crops in your absence. What you will need to do manually is monitoring the crops. Look at the crops, look under the leaves to see if there are pests. And there are organic ways to control these pests. You don't need to use synthetic pesticides. We use neem oil to control pests. We have a mixture, we mix it with liquid soap and water, and we spray it regularly. We use the byproduct of neem oil extraction, that's neem cake. It's more of the fiber.
Yes.
Yes, the waste. Good. We use that. We mix that with the soil. It helps to control nematodes and other soil-borne pests. So you're using the oil on the leaves and you're using the cake in the ground. Nothing goes wasted.
Yes.
If you have neem trees at home, you can produce the same thing out of the leaves. If you don't want to have to buy the neem oil or the neem cake. Yes. Other things we do is companion planting. Plants have the ability to repel certain pests. For instance, we have a pest called aphids. It tends to attack our spices like basil. It attacks tomatoes, peppers, and all of that. Rosemary repels it. Yes, so we encourage people to grow onions, garlic, rosemary around their crops. So they will be like the police in your garden, repelling these pests from your main crop. And some of these other crops, when you companion it, it makes your crop sweeter. Like garlic and cucumber, it makes the cucumber sweeter. So we encourage our gardeners to combine different crops in the garden. It's not all about growing one crop throughout the farm. No, you need to mix things up, so that it will give you better results and you enjoy your garden at the end of the day. Yeah, not to overwhelm you.
Yes, you are saying it as though it's very, very easy. I know there are challenges.
Yes.
I would want you to touch on the challenges and how to mitigate it.
Yes, it is easy, but it's not easy. I keep saying there's nothing easy. So, pests, like I was talking about earlier, is one of the challenges you face. If you have a garden and you don't experience pests, then you don't have a garden. You should be worried. They are part of the ecosystem. So we call them pests because they are feeding on our crops. They are insects, right? Like caterpillar. Caterpillar will eat your lettuce. Snails, slugs, they will eat your vegetables because they also need to feed. Now, the first thing in pest control is identifying the pest. What is attacking your crop? If it's an insect, you look out for it. If you're able to identify the insect, good. We identify the insect, then we know the remedy. But neem oil is one horticultural oil that tends to work on a wide range of pests in the garden. So that is one good one. Now we identify our pests. If you can't find the pests, some of them they fly. So you come to the garden, they've flown away. Now we use the bite marks to identify it. So if you can identify it yourself, you can reach out to us. We would help you identify the pests that you're experiencing, and then you know how to.
So via picture, they'll take a picture of it and then they show. Exactly. So I think with this, it means you ought to be part of the Grow Together. The project Grow Together, because you learn a lot, and to know that you have people by your side guiding you, not just Green Space, but then other people on this campaign also help with it. So in advocating for us to eat fruits and vegetables, a very good way is to have a home garden. So you can reach out to Green Space, or you can put it in the comment section, and then we will show you where you can locate them so that you can start your home garden. It doesn't matter your space or your schedule. You can make a difference with what you grow. It has been Eat Right with Ebubo Kosia. Stay tuned for the next episode.